Hi everyone, I'm not getting many people on the playback, so I'm not sure how many people are online, but I'll be on with questions in about 10 minutes, 10 past, so I guess that's about 6 or 7 minutes. Get ready, and I'll get ready. Bye. Hello all. I'm not sure if people have got the right link. I'm getting a few messages through to say that some of the links have not worked. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Just seeing messages on here. But I think things are coming through okay. Sorry for the slight delay. I guess I'll give it another 2 minutes or so. You can listen to some more of this kind of odd music for a bit longer. But do just get the form from down there. You just need to type that in to get the Google form, and you can then watch all together at the same time. Thank you all.
Come follow me. I'll show you the side of the world, the places that you'll never see. Come follow me.
Right, I'm going to start. I'll pause that. I'm not even going to fade it out. Anyway, welcome all. It's been 3 weeks, I think, 3 and a bit weeks probably, since the last one. Welcome back to anyone that's did it last time or didn't do it last time but has done it before. Welcome to any new people. It looks like I've got about the same number as last time, so we're looking at about 10 teams maybe, but we'll see how many we actually get. Everyone who is on the thing, they need to download the form from down there. Just type that into a browser. You'll get a Google form, and I'll go through how to work that in a moment. I'll put that link into the chat as well in case anyone joins later. But I think it's probably time to start. So let's get ready to go. And that has not worked again. Right, so there's the rough timings there of what I'm expecting this to work out to. Obviously a slightly late start, probably a slightly late end of quiz, but I think we should kind of have pretty much the same timings that we normally do. I have changed the quiz slightly, so we've got 5 question rounds, back to 5 question rounds instead of 7 question rounds. I was actually finding it really hard to get 7 questions out of certain rounds. It's relatively simple to come up with 5. Although I have been doing the quiz questions again quite late today, so I probably should just think about it a bit earlier. But anyway, welcome all. Get into your teams. Get ready to discuss because the next few ones are here. So this is what the teams were like last time. So just I think the winners were, as ever, the 20-year quiz hell, but we had some Deadwood in 3rd place. 2nd place K&C, 1st place 20-year quiz hell, my 20-year quiz hell. Hopefully, and maybe it's rude of me to say this, but hopefully someone can depose them today, because that will make it more fun. So you should have the Google form. There's 5 pages. I've changed a few things around. I think the round numbers might be wrong actually in this instruction sheet, but as I say, I've put in more rounds, but with shorter numbers of questions in them, so you should be fairly obvious. Everything else is the same. Okay, so there'll be a picture round to start. There'll be 7 pictures. Just need the letters, the names of the first letter in each case. If you've got any questions about how it works, then let me through and put it through on the YouTube chat, and I will probably ignore it until too late. You can also download the pictures, and that will come up on the there'll be a link at the top again, which you can download the pictures if you can't get them quickly enough or you want to peruse them later. Okay, so, and there will be some music playing as well, so put that into the music round section. Hopefully relatively clear. Any questions, do let me know. Okay, let's go.
In 2 more years, my sweetheart, we will see.
Okay, so you should have 7 letters there and a song, title, and an artist from that. Going on to the next round then, and we'll start off with a general knowledge round, as we usually do. I will hide my face. Right, so number 1, whose new book Rage contains the information from interviews with Donald Trump that he took between December 2019 and July 2020. Okay, so who's the author of the book Rage, which has been in the news this week because of the interviews that were held with Donald Trump between December 2019 and July 2020. So I think there's some information there about COVID and things like that. Okay, question 2 then. Who played Emma Peel in The Avengers? Who played Emma Peel in The Avengers? Relatively simple question. The Avengers there, of course, is not the most recent form of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 3, in what month was the first case of COVID-19 confirmed in the UK? Okay, so we're coming up to 6 months of lockdown, but when was the first case of COVID-19 confirmed in the UK? Which month? Guess you need the month there. Okay, question 4. Ed Sheeran recently just had a baby, or his wife's just had a baby, but what is his wife's name? Number 4, what is Ed Sheeran's wife's name? What is Ed Sheeran's wife's name? These are all basically current affairs questions. And a repeated question. Number 5, which 5 words did Donald Trump say showed his excellent cognitive abilities in a television interview? Bonus for the correct order again. Okay, so it's actually not that easy, but for me it was easy. Can you prove your own personal cognitive abilities, but not in a television interview, in this quiz? So you get 1 point if you get the words correct, 2 points if you get them in the right order. Okay, there is not going to be a music round between rounds 1 and 2. Round 2 is going to be next, and that is movie tie-ins. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you some pictures from some video games. And the video games are based on a film. They should all be relatively clear, but they're quite old games, so presumably you'll guess that they're therefore old films generally, because is not the time travel that you would need to have a film from the 2000s in a 1980s game. But they should be fairly clear. I'll show you the pictures for about 20-25 seconds. I'm not going to say too much other than that. Just keep looking around. There may be some clues around in maybe the kind of head-up display that you get, or just the picture, really. Okay, so about 25 seconds for each. Number 1. Okay, what film is this game from? Okay, you should maybe get a hint of the age of the film from the graphics, maybe, if you're that way inclined. If not, you just have to use maybe the way the graphical interface is shown, or the scene. Okay, so that's question 1. What film is this a game from? Question 2 is a little bit darker. You may need to look more closely. So question, there's some words there as well. Okay, this is a fairly famous film. Okay, I'm not gonna. You can't download these, but if you want to take pictures yourself, if you're looking at this on your computer, you can use print screen. If it's on your phone, you can snapshot. Okay, a little bit darker. I'll read that for you. Rotate the analog stick to find your victim's weak point. Okay, and then picture 3. Okay, again, think of the age that this would be and the way that it looks. That's the clues that I would give you. And these are quite old games, so you load them up and they don't necessarily look great. The resolution of the game is much, much lower than the actual screen that you're looking at on, probably. Okay, an older game coming up next. Older than this even, if you can imagine such a thing. Okay, look very carefully at all of that. Okay, so again, have a think about what the era it might be. And the last one in this round, look carefully around, you might get some good clues here. Okay, so what film could that be from? So I've not gone full screen with the pictures here, because they look quite bad actually. But you should be all right to get some of those. I'll give you a few more seconds of those. What I will do, remember, is run through all of the questions very, very quickly at the end. So you'll get 1 or 2 seconds more of these. So if you've got some clues, maybe note them down, and then when we go through them again quickly, you might be able to get them then. Okay, so we'll play the second music round now, and this should be nice and easy for you, I hope.
Yeah, man. Yo. Hey. How's it going, 5 man? Okay? I'm good, man. Cool, you busy? No, come in, man. Yeah? Cool, man. Oh, my. You well, man. What's happening? It's all good. It's all good? It's all good, man. But my hair... Usual? Yeah. Usual? Yeah. Hey, listen. What happened to you last week, man? 5. Let me tell you, I've had the strangest week ever. Yeah. You can see. I can see.
Family had a narrow escape as fire ripped through their maison in the early hours of this morning.
Yo, it's a mad man, a Monday morning, you're yawning and it's 11 a.m. Sun's blazing. Just picked up this tune yesterday from Craig David, it's called 7 Days. And I'm gonna dedicate this one out to myself, the Scandalous MC, and the rest of the Mad FM listeners. DJ, when you drop it, just rewind and come again.
Away from me as I walk through the subway. Must have been about 3:15. In front of me stood a beautiful honey with a beautiful body. She asked me for the time. I said the cost of her name, 6-digit number, and a date with me tomorrow at 9. Did she decline? No. Didn't she mind? I don't think so. Was it for real? Damn sure. What was the deal? A pretty girl is 24. So is she cute? She couldn't wait. Cinnamon queen, let me update. What did she say? She said she loved to rendezvous. She asked me what we were gonna do. Some stuff, but about a moment for Monday.
Yo, it's a mad man, a Monday morning, you're yawning and it's 11 a.m.
We making love by Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday. I met this guy on Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday, and on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday.
What day? Monday, mate.
One time, 'cause let me get mine. And she was looking fine. Smooth talker, she told me she loved to unfold me all night long. Ooh, I love the way she kicked it. From the front to the back, she flipped it. And yeah, hope that you care. Cause I'm a man who'll always be there.
Yo, it's a man for the Monday morning, you're yawning and it's 11 a.m.
Cause the one night stand isn't really fair. From the first impression, girl, you don't seem to be like that. Cause there's no need to check, but there'll be plenty time for that. From the subway to my home, endless ringing off my phone. When you're feeling all alone, all you gotta do is just call me, call me. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday. I met this guy on Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday. Break it down. Break it down.
I was in the car, looked at the gauge, yeah, and it was empty. What do you mean it was empty? It was empty, man.
Well, you ran out of petrol.
Big time singer. Run out of petrol. Yeah. I mean, shame, the man ran out of petrol. The man ran out of petrol.
Since I met this special lady, ooh yeah, I can't get her off my mind. She's one of a kind.
Yo, it's a man for the
And I
Monday morning, you're
ain't
yawning
about
and it's
to
11
deny
a.m.
it. It's a special kind of thing.
Here I go,
with you. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday and Saturday we chilled on Sunday. I met this guy on Monday. Took her for a drink on Tuesday. We were making love by Wednesday. And on Thursday and Friday.
Oh, that's just stopped for some reason. I was actually going to look to pause it, but I think that's a relatively simple one for you, I would have thought. So the next picture round, not the picture round, the next round is sport. Let me know if you've got any questions. I haven't seen anything coming up on the comments so far, but if you have got any questions, do let me know. So the sports round, question 1. Who is the last American in the Women's US Open that is not Serena Williams? Okay. So there's 2 Americans left in the semi-final stage. One of them is, of course, Serena Williams. Who is the other? So who's the last remaining American in the Women's US Open that is not Serena Williams? Okay, these sports questions hopefully shouldn't be too tricky. They're mainly based around what's happening around about now. So I hope you've been paying attention. Question 2. Which youngster scored the winner for Wales in the 94th minute against Bulgaria? So in football, which youngster scored the winner for Wales in the 94th minute against Bulgaria? Not Uncle Bulgaria, the country Bulgaria. The clue, hopefully, is the youngster part. Okay. Question 3. The Tour de France is currently going on. Who was the winner of the 2019 Tour de France? Who was the winner of the 2019 Tour de France? Question 4. Which Frenchman won a Grand Prix this year and is the first Frenchman to do so, to win a Grand Prix this millennium? Which Frenchman won a Grand Prix this year, becoming the first Frenchman to win a Grand Prix this millennium? Okay, so that's this year, of course. Okay, and the last question in the sports round. What was the combined total of points for the previous season's teams in the Champions game between Leeds United and Liverpool? So the Premier League starts this weekend. Leeds United were champions of the Championship, which is a very difficult thing to say. Liverpool, champions of the Premier League, playing against each other. What was their combined points total? If you're within 3 points of the correct answer, I'll give you half a point. So the combined total for those two teams. So Leeds United in Championship, just to give you some clues, play about, I think it's 46 games, something around there, and Liverpool in the Premier League play 38 games. So that's combined points total of the two teams. Okay, and so we're going on to the next music round. Any questions, do let me know. If you've got unsure of anything, this one will hopefully be a little bit shorter, probably just as easy though.
Since the day that we were born, got to slow down before we fall down. We got stars directing our fate, and we pray and it's not too late, 'cause we know we're falling from grace. Liposuction, detox for your rent, overdose of Christmas, and give it up for Lent. My friends are all so cynical, we refuse to keep the faith. We all enjoy the madness, 'cause we know we're gonna fade away. We got stars directing our fate, and we're praying it's not too late, 'cause we know we're falling from grace. Millennium. Come and have a go if you think you are hot enough. Come and have a go if you think you are hot enough. Millennium. We got stars directing our fate, and we're praying it's not too late, 'cause we know we're falling from grace. Millennium. Sounds like children. And when we come, we always come too late. I have to think that we were born to hate. Get up and see the sarcasm in my eyes. And when we come, we always come too late. I have to think that we were born to hate. Get up and see the sarcasm in my and we won't stop.
So yeah, pretty easy, right? I think that's fair to say. Hopefully you should get that. Next set of questions, round 4, is based on screen time, so films, TV and games. So there's only 5 questions, so mixing them up a little bit there. Hopefully it's still going. I'm not quite sure. YouTube has recently changed its kind of live streaming offer, and it's all a bit weird, to be honest. Right, anyway, so I'm confused by it, but it's probably coming through how confused I am. Anyway, question 1, which character has been in the EastEnders show since it started? Which character has been in EastEnders since the show started? It's quite a weird way I've written that. The EastEnders show since the show started. So, it started in 1985, I think, if I remember correctly. Something around there, mid-80s, definitely. I was having a discussion yesterday with someone who was amazed at how old EastEnders was. I had no idea that Coronation Street was even older. Really shocked by this. Number 2. What is the newly announced premium version of the Microsoft Games console called? What is the newly announced premium version of the Microsoft Games console called? This is coming out in November this year. It's being released. It has been in the news. You have to be very careful with the naming. The naming is quite important. You don't want to. So you'll get maybe half. There might be some half marks depending on how badly mangled the name is, but to get the full mark you will need to have it exactly right. Question 3. Christopher Nolan, early on in his career, remade a Norwegian film. What was the Norwegian title of the film? So he remade a Norwegian film quite early on in his career. What was the Norwegian title of this film? The original film. So the original film came out in the 90s. I'll give you that at least. I mean, Nolan's career started in the 90s anyway, so that's not really going to help you too much, I wouldn't have thought. I saw Tenet this week, actually. It's very good. I would highly recommend it. As long as you're ready to kind of pay attention and stuff. Very much enjoyed it. Question 4 then. Which Channel 4 programme was the most watched last year? It absolutely destroyed the competition on Channel 4. Yeah, significantly higher than the second place programme. So what was the most watched programme on Channel 4 last year? So that's the most popular programme. Well, I guess popular is not quite right. Most watched. It might be the most popular as well, but it might not be. Question 5 then, last one for this round. Which British cinema company is the world's second largest cinema chain? Okay, which British cinema company is the world's second largest cinema chain? Okay, so that I was quite surprised by this personally, but I don't know that much, so that's probably why I was surprised. Anyway, I'll come back. Hello. Just to let you know, so the next round is music and pictures. So there'll be again 7 pictures on screen, and the music going on at the same time in the background. There's been a question in the YouTube comments about the first music round, and that played over the pictures for that one. This next music round will play over the pictures again. You'll get 14 pictures. The first letters of each will form an anagram. The anagram is a how can I put it? The anagram is a thing that is fun, maybe. Yeah, I'll say that. Okay, so 14 letters, mix it up, and we're into that then. So next round then I will be the music round. Let me just hide my safe self again. Okay, let's go.
my first real six string. Bought it at the 5 and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Me and some guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Jimmy quit, Jody got married. Should've known we'd never get far. Oh, when I look back now, the summer seemed to last forever. And if I had the choice, yeah, I'd always wanna be there. Those were the best days of my life. Ain't no use in complaining when you got a job to do. Spend my evenings down at the drive-in, and that's when I met you, yeah. Standing on your mama's porch, you told me that you'd wait forever. Oh, when you held my hand, I knew that it was now or never. Those were the best days of my life. Oh yeah, back in the summer of '69. Man, we were killing time. We were young and restless. We needed to unwind. I guess nothing can last forever, forever, no. Yeah. And now the times are changing. Look at everything that's come and gone. Sometimes when I play that old six string, think about you wondering what went wrong. Standing on your mama's porch, you told me that it lasts forever. Oh, when you held my hand, I knew that it was now or never. Those were the best days of my life. Oh yeah, back in the summer of '69. It was the summer of '69. Oh yeah, me and my
Okay, I'm not picture 8 or picture 15 here. If you need to download the pictures, please do so from the link up there, picture round 2. So, as I say, you'll have 14 letters, and they will, if you write them all out, you then jumble them up and you'll get an anagram. So, what I've done is, I'm not going to give you as much of a clue about what the thing is that it's an anagram of, but you should have enough time. There's obviously some music rounds coming up. Okay, right, so the next round, these are false friends. Again, I'll stay here while I explain this one. False friends are something when you're learning a language, it's where a word that you think is from your own language has a different meaning in the language that you're learning. So you'll see some words in the next 5 questions where the words are very similar to an English word, but that is not what they mean. So what you need to just tell me is what that word means in that language. Okay, so I will disappear. Again, this is based on some quizzes I've done personally where one of my friends, who is not a false friend, I would consider him to be a real friend, does actually say whenever there's kind of these foreign language rounds that it's almost like cheating because he finds them so easy. Okay, right, so number 1. What does gift mean in German? What does the word gift mean in German? Apologies for any appalling pronunciation. Okay, so number 1, what does the word gift mean in German? I mean, often there's a bit of a link, often there isn't. There's always a little bit of a link, because they're usually from the same root word. Okay, what does the word gift mean in German? Number 2. Again, I'm not going to even try with the pronunciation really. What does preservative mean in French? What does the word preservative mean in French? Kind of like the E numbers that you get if you look on the jar, maybe those kinds of things in for preservatives, but meaning something else in French. Number 3, what does pariente mean in Spanish? Sounds a bit like parent. What does pariente mean in Spanish? Pariente. I think these are all European languages I've gone for. I'm not entirely certain, but hopefully they should all be relatively gettable if you've got a good, diverse team or you've got a lot of knowledge. Number 4, morbido in Italian. Morbido in Italian. Something dark, potentially. What does that mean in Italian? Okay, and the last one here is, what does closet mean in Polish? Closet. Okay, so they've all got some kind of link in some way to the English word, I would say. Sometimes in quite dark ways, maybe, but you should all have, you all know Polish people, don't we? I'm sure they've used it. What does closet mean in Polish? Okay. Right. Okay. Fine. And again, I'm going to go straight on to the next round, so there's no music in between. And these are the ordinals again. So the ordinals round. So 5 questions on these, and then music after that. Okay. So number 1, which race circuit has hosted the largest number of F1 Grand Prix? So which is the most raced on circuit in F1 Grand Prix? And there's a few classic ones. Which one of those has had the most races? Okay. Question 2 then. Which is the second longest river in the UK? The second longest river in the UK. For some reason, I'm not sure I know that many rivers in the UK, and this crops up every so often. But what's the second longest? Number 3 then, what is the third tallest building in the world at 601 metres? At 601 metres, what is the third tallest building in the world? I will, if you're not sure of the name, I will accept the city name as well, if you would like. It's the third tallest building in the world. I imagine some of the people on this quiz have probably been there, or at least seen it. I would hope so. Got a well-travelled set of people here, I think. Question 4. Which company is the 4th biggest in the world by market capitalisation? So that's share price, basically. And because these move around all the time, I've gone for Q2 2020, so that's June, I guess. So which company is the 4th biggest by market capitalisation in the world? Okay, there's some Pretty big companies we all know about. I think everyone probably knows number one. Can you think about which are the other 4 or 5 around there and what they would be? Okay, and the last question. What is the 5th largest planet in our solar system? What is the 5th largest planet in our solar system? Okay. Right, so now on to the next music round. Yeah, so just as ever, music, sound, song and artist. Let's go.
I ain't got the time to smoke this, hold this. No G, go by in a black top TT. Mega man, camera 2 gets easy. Seeing stars on the wrist, they wanna jap me. Say, come step to me. The last thing that you saw was icy. Bitch, say niggas wanna see nigga get rich, but niggas don't really want nigga to be rich. Say niggas wanna see nigga get rich, but niggas don't really want nigga to be rich.
These never fading, struggling, stay strong till I'm fading. PH to the D's never phasing. I run it to my enemies of erasing. So solid that amazing. In Gucci's we're bound to be lacing. Addicted to this life that we're tasting. You blame me for the life you were wasting. You're hating, yeah, there's money to be making. Actor MC and then I'm raking. Smoking mad trees like a Jamaican. So when you're looking at me, you start taking, creating.
Fuck the family, who could I be? And with the A to the C, that's me. Fuck the family, who could I be? And with the A to the C, that's me. MSC still fucking. Short Benz in the Ray when I'm clubbing. Ladies come around and they're bugging. Make G's like if I was robbing. Play hitters they are watching and they're plotting and they're watching my stocks. Watching and they're plotting and they're watching my stops. Watching and they're plotting and they're watching my crops. Never gonna stop, never gonna stop.
I got 21 seconds to flow. I got 21 seconds to go. Cause if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go.
21 seconds. 21 seconds. 21 seconds. 21 seconds.
21 seconds to pass the mic. I got 21 seconds to say what I gotta say. But you won't like me anyway. Now I won't hesitate. So solid crew is here to stay. We're gonna get right to the top of it. Cause I 20. Cause I 20. Cause I only got 21 seconds.
Some of them are slipping, some of them are grudge me, so solid vampire. See me on the telly, face getting popular. What? Some are chat shitting, no disrespect in your try to my clicking, raise up the dead in her, wash up the devil, red is my best color. So solid we are players, instigators, give me a color like a famous. I send it back to you, she getting papers, 21 seconds to get papers.
Please set your mind free cause I got a key to the method of my pain, can you feel me? Trends on that change like the weather, 21 sex, the more better. You don't know, you don't know. So the crew we run the show, and if you don't know, please let me know, Scared me, don't snitch, no need to go to the fence to get rich. I just lay on the track and insert the hit and get paid all day long. I got 21 seconds to flow, I got 21 seconds to go. Cause if you like me, let me know, let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know, let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know, let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go.
21 seconds. 21 seconds. 21 seconds. 21 seconds. Every lyric I do, every lyric I say, every lyric I rock, every lyric I play, every lyric I make, every lyric I break. There's always a snake when I get in my gate. Wave through the tunnel. 21 seconds and you're in trouble. You better move when I double. When I double my cash, when I double my dough. 21 seconds, heartbeat's gonna flow. And if I step on my toe, we're still gonna grow. When I'm on a high, when I'm on a low, when I'm on a break, when I'm on a roll, hype it up.
Turn out the baseline. I got 21 seconds to track this rhyme in time. First of all, I'm gonna big up the ladies looking slender and fine. Mine, don't give me no deadline. Give me some more time. Give me 29 seconds to track this rhyme. Other MCs wait in line. How about the mine's 21? I got 21 seconds and my vocals done. 2 multiplied by 10 plus 1. Romeo done. I got 21 seconds to flow. I got 21 seconds to go. Cause if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. Did you see me on the video? Oh no. So if you like me, let me know. Let me in the studio. I got 21 seconds before I got to go.
Okay, hello. Right. So hopefully again not too tricky for you on that one. The next round is 5 more general knowledge questions. So generally about the last over this year, really, is general knowledge in a way. So number 1, who did? Oh, blimey, there's some music coming on. Don't want that. Sorry, I don't know if you even heard that. So number 1, who did Rishi Sunak replace as Chancellor of the Exchequer earlier this year? It's quite a big story at the time, but like a lot of big stories, it got kind of replaced by an even bigger story. So, who did Rishi Sunak replace as Chancellor of the Exchequer earlier this year? So the earlier Chancellor of the Exchequer was replaced because they were not happy about being told what to do. So Rishi Sunak, I think, came in because he was okay with that. So, but who did he replace? Okay, question 2. Which high street chain followed Pret and announced plans for a £15 a month coffee subscription service for this week? So Pret a Manger, they've started a £20 a month coffee subscription service. Seems like a pretty good deal if you live and or work near one. £15 a month, another chain has announced plans for. Might be an interesting way of running all of these shops on a subscription basis. I think £15 a month isn't too bad at all, actually. Right. If you're going into the office all the time. Number 3, earlier this year, how many years in prison was sex offender Harvey Weinstein sentenced to? So how many years in prison has sex offender Harvey Weinstein been sentenced to? Remember, this is in America. Again, a pretty big story at the time. Somewhat overshadowed by COVID and things, but it's still a pretty big story. I think people probably hopefully remember that. How many years in prison? Okay. Number 4, which type of plane has British Airways retired, amongst other airlines as well, actually, over the coronavirus pandemic hitting the transport requirements? Okay, so there's just fewer planes required. British Airways has retired an entire type of plane. Which type of plane has it retired? Do try and be quite specific. You'll get half marks, I guess, if you're fairly close. And I am feeling generous. Sometimes I feel generous, sometimes I don't. You can only try. But don't push your luck. Do not push your luck. As one team has found out in the past. Just, ask politely, etc., etc. And the last question in this round, before some more music. On what date did the UK government tell the country that people must stay at home and certain businesses must close? Just Boris Johnson told the country that they must stay at home. Okay, so on what date did the UK government tell the country that people must stay at home and certain businesses must close? Okay, so this is probably what most people would have considered to be lockdown start. When was this? Some of you may have been already staying at home at that point. I imagine a lot of you were. I think I was already by this point. But when did the government tell us that people must stay at home? Okay, so there's the next music round. Artist and song, please.
Something beautiful, a contradiction.
Sorry, there's a motorbike being quite loud here, so apologies if this overwrites what you can hear. Anyway, right, so that's the penultimate music round, coming into the last wordy round. Where are we? Yep. Okay, so this round is called Specific and Limited. It is about breaking the law, and these are the questions. So, number 1, which was the UN Security Council resolution offering Iraq under Saddam Hussein a final opportunity to comply with its disarmament obligations that prefaced the 2003 Iraq War? So what was the number of that resolution, basically? Which number Security Council resolution offered Iraq a final opportunity to comply with its disarmament obligations, and potentially then led to a specific and limited breaking of the law? Potentially, or maybe it didn't. And this was debated at the time, 2002, 2003. Okay, so what was the number of that Security Council resolution? Number 2, a man received the longest prison sentence in the world of 162 life sentences plus 93 years without parole for a bombing where? Okay, so where was the city that this bombing took place? Okay, so this man received the longest ever prison sentence of 162 life sentences plus 93 years on top of that without parole for a bombing in which city? Okay, for bombing in which city? Question 3. In which year was the last criminal hanged in the UK as capital punishment? So not just, when someone has been hanged for other types of punishment, which potentially has happened in prisons and things like that, I don't know. But as capital punishment, in which year was the last criminal hanged in the UK? Okay. I wonder how many people were alive then on this quiz, to give you a bit of a clue. Okay, number 4. Which company has paid the largest ever corporate fine? There should be a question mark there, of course. Apologies. So which company paid the largest ever corporate fine? And that was this century, at least. Okay. Some wrongdoing of sorts and a fairly large fine. Okay, I'm not going to say which country that's in. I'll let you work that out. But which company paid the largest ever corporate fine? It's thought to have cost this company in the region of, it's thought to have cost the company over $50 billion US dollars. US dollars used for comparison purposes are almost always for the financial things, except football fees, of course. Number 5, the last question of the quiz. This is specific and limited. Which country in the Council of Europe, there's 47 member states, was the last to use the death penalty? Again, this was not this century. Which country in the Council of Europe, of which there are 47 member states, was the last to use the death penalty? Belarus is not part of the Council of Europe. I think they still have the death penalty. So lack of capital punishment is a requirement of joining the Council of Europe, I believe. The precursor to the European Union. So that's the last question there. So I'm going to play its music now. This song is probably about 4 or 5 minutes. Give you time to go through the anagram if you need to. The anagram is something very famous, and it's from the 1980s. That will maybe give you a clue. Very fun, has a long, illustrious heritage, and has led to a lot of joy in later years as well. So from the 1980s, and I'll play the last song then. Okay, let's go. Anyway, so once I've played the last song, I will then very, very quickly run through all of the questions, but not the music. And the pictures are all available to download, of course, as well. Okay, all right, let's go.
This is the Wartime Broadcasting Service. This country has been attacked with nuclear weapons. Communications have been severely disrupted, and the number of casualties and the extent of the damage are not yet known. We shall bring you further information as soon as possible. Meanwhile, stay tuned to this wavelength, stay calm, and stay in your own house. Remember, there's nothing to be gained by trying to get away. By leaving your homes, you could be exposing yourselves to greater danger. If you leave, you may find yourselves without food, without water, without accommodation, and without protection. We shall be on the air every hour on the hour. Stay tuned to this wavelength, but switch your radios off now to save your batteries. That is the end of this broadcast.
This is just a nightmare. Soon I'm gonna wake up. Someone's gonna bring me round. Running from the bombers, hiding in the forest, running through the fields, laying flat on the ground, just like everybody, stepping over heads, running from the underground. This is your warning. 4-minute warning. I don't wanna hear it. I don't wanna know. I just wanna run and hide. This is just a nightmare. And soon I'm gonna wake up. Someone's gonna bring me round. This is a warning. 4-minute warning.
Right. Hopefully you've got something there. The anagram, I think, is probably proving quite tricky for some teams, from what I can see. But I think you should be able to get it if you think a little bit harder about maybe things that are very fun. Anyway, right, I'm going to quickly run through all the questions, and I will hopefully give you a chance then to work on the anagram. The anagram is very key, of always, worth, I think it's 7 points this time. Yeah, the anagram itself is worth 7 points and 1 point for each of the pictures. So if you can get the anagram, that is more than a round's worth of points. So well worth working on until submission time. Right, so I will start just very quickly going through the questions again. So there's the first set of pictures. Let's go. Right, so number 1. Who has written the book Rage? Who plays Emma Peel in The Avengers, not the MCU film? Which month was the first case of COVID-19 in the UK? What is Ed Sheeran's wife's name? What are the 5 words Donald Trump said? And the bonus for the correct order. This is a repeated question. What films are these? Sorry, I'm obscuring them slightly, but not too much. I think you should still be able to see them. Sports questions. Who is the last person in the US Open that is not Serena Williams and also American? Who scored the winner for Wales against Bulgaria? Who won last year's Tour de France? Which Frenchman won a Grand Prix this year for the first time for a Frenchman this millennium? What is the total points combination of Liverpool and Leeds last season, the 2 champions of the top 2 flights of the English football pyramid? Screen time. Which character has been in EastEnders since the show started? What's the name of Microsoft's new games console released in November this year? What is the name of the Christopher Nolan film that he remade? Which Channel 4 program was the most watched last year? Which is the 2nd largest cinema chain in the world? Which British cinema company is that? Quick pictures there. False friends. So what does gift mean in German? Preservative in French. Pariente in Spanish. Morbido in Italian. Closet in Polish. The most Grand Prix races in a particular circuit. Which circuit is that? 2nd longest river in the UK. 3rd tallest building in the world, above 600 meters. 4th biggest company in the world. The 5th largest planet in the solar system. Who was the Chancellor before Rishi Sunak? Which high street chain has copied Pret and done a £15 a month coffee subscription service? How many years in prison is Harvey Weinstein sentenced to? What type of plane has British Airways retired recently? And what date did lockdown start? Per Boris Johnson saying that people must stay at home. Specific and limited here. What was the Security Council resolution before the 2003 Iraq War? This was in the news a lot. Which city did this bombing take place, where the man received the longest prison sentence? I don't think I've given too much away by saying it's a man. Which year was the last criminal hanged in the UK? It's capital punishment. Which company paid the largest ever corporate fine? Number 5, which country was the last to use the death penalty within the Council of Europe? And this was last millennium or last century, depending on how you want to see it. Okay, so I think my original plan was to submit by 9:20. I think it's already 9:20. It's a little bit harsh. So I'll say submit by 9:30, and I'll try and get the answers back 10 to 10, probably. I think that seems about right. So I'll give you that time to do that. If you could submit as normal, and again, donations if possible to St Mungo's, who are the charity that the company that I work for, which is Clarion Housing Group. They are sponsoring St Mungo's and raising money for them. They do a lot of great work around ending homelessness. So if you could make donations, if you've got the ability to make that donation, that would be greatly appreciated by St Mungo's. So please do that. I am going to go now. I will be back probably. What I'll do is I'll come back at 9:45 to let you know how the marking is going, but probably we'll start at 10 to 10, that kind of time. I don't know how many teams there are. If there's loads of teams, it will take longer. If there aren't that many teams, it won't take very long at all. I guess it kind of depends. Right, I'll catch you on the other side. Do submit by 9:30, please. I'll give you some time to go through that, but you can probably submit now if you want. Right, thank you very much.
She says there's ants in the carpet, dirty little monsters, eating all the mussels, picking up the rubbish. Give her effervescence, she needs a little sparkle. Good morning TV, you're looking so healthy. We all say the ones to be alone. We wear the same clothes, cause we feel the same. And kiss the dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special. Sex on the TV, everybody's at it, and the mind gets dirty as you get closer to 30. It gets her a cuddle, glowing in a huddle. Good night TV, you're all made up, and you're looking like we all say the one to be alone. We wear the same clothes, cause we feel the same, and kiss the dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special. Say the one to be alone. We wear the same clothes cause we feel the same. And kiss the dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special. We all say the one to be alone. We wear the same clothes cause we feel the same. And kiss the dry lips when we say goodnight. Another century, oh, it's nothing special. Oh, sit tight, I'm gonna need you to keep time. Come on, just snap, snap, snap your fingers for me. Good, good, now we're making some progress. Come on, just tap, tap, tap your toes to the beat. And I believe this may call for a proper introduction. Well, don't you see, I'm the narrator and this is just the prologue. Swear to shake it up if you swear to listen. We're still so young, desperate for attention. I aim to be your eyes, trophy boys, trophy wives. Swear to shake it up if you swear to listen. We're still so young, desperate for attention. I aim to be your eyes, trophy boys, trophy wives. Applause, applause, no wait, wait. Dear studio audience, I've an announcement to make. It seems the artists these days are not who you think, so we'll pick back up on that on another page. And I believe
best friend, and lives that were over before they were spent. I've seen what I was, and I know what I'll be. I've seen it all. There is no more to see.
You haven't seen elephants, kings, or Peru.
I'm happy to say I had better to do.
What about China? Have you seen the Great Wall?
All walls are great if the roof doesn't fall. And the man you will marry, the home you will share.
To be honest, I really don't care. 'Cause I'm done
You've never been to Niagara Falls.
I have seen water, it's water, that's all.
The Eiffel Tower and the Empire State.
My palace was a sign on my very first day.
Your grandson's hand as he plays with your hair.
To be honest, I really don't care. I've seen it all. I've seen the dark. I've seen the brightness in one little spark. I have seen what I choose, and I've seen what I need, and that is enough. To one more would be greed. I've seen what I was, and I know what I'll be. I've seen it all. There is no more to see.
You've seen it all, and all you have seen, you can't always review on your own little screen. The light and the dark, the big and the small, just keep in mind you need no more at all. You see what you know, and you know what you need. You see it all, there is no more to see.
Come follow me. I'll show you the side of the world, the places that you've never seen. Come follow me. Come follow me. I'll show you the side of yourself, the person that you've always been, but never dreamed. What could you be afraid of if I'm right here with you? You know everything will change. Show me what you are made of, 'cause I'm always with you. Come on, we could leave today.
about you. I don't care what you think, unless it is about me. It is now my duty to completely drain you. I travel through to end up in your affection. Shooting me for you, pass it back and forth. In a passionate kiss, from my mouth to yours, I like you. With eyes to dilated, I've become your pupil. You taught me everything about a poison apple. The water is so yellow, I'm a healthy student. Indebted and so grateful, vacuum out the fluids. Shooting for you, pass it back and forth. In a passionate kiss, from my mouth to yours, I like you. One baby to another says I'm lucky to meet you. I don't care what you think, unless it is about me. It is now my duty to completely drain you. I travel through to end up in your infection. Shooting me for you, pass it back and forth. In a passionate kiss, from my mouth to yours. Sloppy lips to lips, you're my violins, I like you.
Okay, hello everyone. Have I got my timing right? It's about 5 to 10, which I thought would be about right. I don't know whether everyone's online or not. I've still got quite a few. There's about 20 people watching at the moment, so I think that's about right. I spent a bit of time marking because it's difficult to mark actually. Some of the questions I'd need to think of this through, but better to make it easier to mark. But lots of spellings that I'm a bit more lenient on than maybe some people would be. So that's why it takes a bit of time. We'll go through the answers now. Hopefully all your teams are ready, or looking maybe in the right place. Let's get the answers going. I don't know if it's going to work, to be perfectly honest, because everything's gone a bit weird on the YouTube front, but hopefully it should. Let's start here. I'm going to actually go through the pictures at the beginning. So picture round 1. Let me move myself down to there. Right, so picture round 1, you've got Brandon Lewis, Omar Sy. I don't think a single team got Omar Sy, so that wasn't very well judged. He's a French actor. Number 3, Scottie Pippen. Probably a lot of people have seen him recently in The Last Dance. 4 is Uluru or Ayers Rock. Needed Uluru for the U there. Number 5 is Mads Mikkelsen, Someone also put Cliff Unger, which I think is his character name in the game Death Stranding, which this is a still shot from. Number 6 is the Open University, and number 7 is Ryu from Street Fighter. So you've got BOSUMR. It's a very weird mixture. So you've got something there, hopefully. Then onto the general knowledge. So this is Bob Woodward, who has written Rage, well timed before the next election. Number 2, this was Dame Diana Rigg, or Diana Rigg was fine. She's passed away, I think today or maybe yesterday. I know a lot of people are spending less time in front of the news nowadays because, we're trying to get back to something less lockdowny, but that was in the news today. This was actually January the 31st, which is a bit sneaky maybe, but it was actually reported on the 31st of January, so a long time ago. Cherry Seaborn, a brilliant name. I did accept Cherry as well, because I guess that's her name as well, which is correct. Number 5, person, woman, man, camera, TV. Some people do have excellent cognitive abilities, but fewer than before, it's got to be said. But well done to those that got the bonus mark on that one. Movie tie-ins. This was a bit of a tricky one if you don't know your films. This is from the game Die Hard Trilogy. It is actually written there, but it doesn't come through properly. Die Hard Trilogy, and this is Die Hard with a Vengeance, where he drives around and there's some bombs that need defusing. This is the game Warriors. Not many people got this, but some did. It's kind of a dark-ish. I think it's set in New York, but the aesthetic has been copied in lots of video games since, and I guess this was a later reimagining of that. The answer here, nobody got this correctly, exactly correct anyway, but I got half marks. This is RoboCop 3. Terminations probably put a few people off. This was one of the first polygonal games of the time that kind of did it in this way. It's pretty cool. This is, I'm going to hide my face so you can all see it nicely and clearly. This is Back to the Future. The bit in the bottom left, that is actually, if you look at it now that you can kind of see that's Michael J. Fox there. But that's Doc Brown. You can see that bright yellow suit and things like that. It's a fair number of clues. A lot of teams got that right. And this one is Cliffhanger. You can see Sylvester Stallone fairly clearly now. You know who it is at the top there. Okay, we'll go through the music rounds later. The people here, Jennifer Brady. Quite a lot of teams got this right. Quite a few didn't. I guess the US Open is quite difficult to follow nowadays. This is Nico Williams. He made his debut earlier in the week and then scored the winner in the 94th minute. It's a pretty nice thing to do. I think he's 18. I think he's 19 actually. He's not a first choice for his club team. This is Egan Bernal. He's from Colombia. I think he was the first Latin American to win the Tour de France. So well done to him. Last year, Pierre Gasly. I think almost all teams got this right. This was first time since 1996, I think, which is actually very close to when he was born. So that's pretty impressive, I think. This, I gave half marks here for a lot of teams. So the total answer was 192. If you're within 3 of that, you got a half mark. So that's 99 and 93 for Leeds United. Screen time. This is Ian Beale. He's been there from the start. Well done to him. I think it's the same actor as well. So you've really seen him age. I think I haven't seen it in a long time. Xbox Series X. I have to be quite specific here because there's actually lots of Xboxes with very similar names, and there is another version coming out called the Xbox Series S on the same date, so you didn't get a mark for that one. If you just put Xbox, then you got half a mark. One team very cleverly did the O in the correct Norwegian way. I did want to give them an extra point because I didn't. But this was Insomnia, the 2002 film, I think it was, with Al Pacino. And I think it was Sandra Bullock, actually, but I'm not entirely certain. I think that was his third film, if I remember correctly. he got better after that, in my opinion. Great British Bake Off was the most watched. It was watched by approximately 10 million, and the second highest for Channel 4 was watched by approximately 5 million, and was another episode of the Great British Bake Off. So, pretty popular show there. They did well to take that off the BBC. And no teams got this right, which is surprising because I thought one team might guess it at least. It's not the Odeon, it is Cineworld. So I was reading up about this, and they only started in the mid-90s, and they're now the second largest cinema chain in the world. I think a lot of buyouts and stuff. But, I mean, that's pretty impressive, actually, to be honest. Pitch round 2. So there was a bit of a problem with the answer sheet, so apologies for that. There was only space for 13 names, I believe, and so most people put the anagram in there. I think only one team got 8, got this number 14 person and the Super Mario Bros, which was the anagram. But anyway, this is Amal Clooney, Princess Peach, Izzy Sooty, Eliza Dukshu, I think is how you pronounce it, Robert Pattinson, Shirley Temple, and Rachel Koo. And you put all of those together and you get Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers came out in 1985, so they're doing their 35-year anniversary stuff. And it is super fun if you've never played the original Super Mario Brothers. It is fantastic. False Friends, brutal round, I think. Some teams with 0, some teams with full 5. But anyway, gift in German means poison, which is a nice thing to know. Preservative means condom. Don't mix that up. Pariente means relative. Padre, I think, is parent in Spanish. So that's not too embarrassing. Morbido is soft, so you can have soft hair, for example, which is also deathly. You could misunderstand that as. And closet, I guess from water closet probably, is toilet. Okay, so useful words to know. Don't mix them up. Especially probably the French one. I think that's probably, and no, actually the German one is probably the most dangerous one to mix up. The French one is probably the most comical. Okay, on to the ordinals round. And this is Monza. So the race recently held in Monza. I think Monza, then maybe it's Monaco next. I think I can't remember exactly. But Monza has basically had it every single year except one. So second longest is the Thames. I think the Severn is the longest, if I remember correctly. In London here. This is in Mecca. I gave you a mark if you put Mecca. This is the clock tower in Mecca at 601 meters. It also has some hotels in there as well. I think it's used for when people do the pilgrimage. This is Alphabet Incorporated. I also gave you the mark if you put Google, which is what they used to be called. I think the financial code is still GOOG for Alphabet Inc. I think they renamed themselves when they changed their slogan from Do No Evil or something, or whatever it was, to whatever corporate slogan it's got now. I'm not sure what it is. It's Alphabet Inc. And the fifth largest is, in fact, Earth, not Jupiter, as one team put. That is massive. Jupiter is massive. And Earth will fit into that, like that red circle thing, the great red spot, I think it's called, twice. So it's pretty big. Second general knowledge, so this is for over the last 6 months. This is Sajid Javid, was replaced by Rishi Sunak fairly recently. I think it's probably about 8-9 months ago now. This is Leon. No team's got this right. I'll need to check whether other companies have followed suit with a £15 one, but nobody got it right, so it wouldn't have made any difference to the scores. Leon, who I think is pretty good, £15 for that. 23 for Harvey here. 23 years he's been sentenced to for his many crimes. This is the 747 jumbo jet, Boeing 747 will accept any of those. So most teams got this right. Well done. And this was the 23rd of March 2020. Most teams actually got this right, which I'm quite surprised at how many remember the exact date. Other teams were very close, 1 or 2 days out, but you didn't get half marks for this one. You did the correct one. Okay, and the specific and limited round. This was resolution 1441. I remember the Iraq War March. There were lots and lots of placards with that number on, but it was a long time ago, to be fair. So I wouldn't necessarily. This was Oklahoma City bombing. Oklahoma, I did also accept. This was so Timothy McVeigh, I think, died, or he isn't the person that was sentenced to this. But Timothy McVeigh is the name most associated with this. Someone else. This was 1964. Only one team got this right. It's a long time ago. No half marks for this one, but it is a long, long time ago. Apparently, lots of people are still in support of capital punishment in the UK, and who knows, it might come back if we leave the Council of Europe, which is a later question. This is BP, or at the time commonly referred to by the US government as British Petroleum. British Petroleum and British Petroleum again and again. This was to do with Deepwater Horizon. I think that's what it's called, the oil spillage. So some estimates say 65 billion US dollars being paid out here. So that's a pretty big fine. And the last answer here is Ukraine. Unfortunately, no team's got this right as well. This was in 1997. So the death penalty, I think, is only practiced in Belarus now in the continent of Europe. And so that was that. And then the music round, you'll get that coming up here. So as I said, the anagram before Super Mario Brothers, I think it was actually September even, 1985. Nintendo have recently made an announcement about re-releasing some of their games again. They love to re-release games, but it's still very exciting for those who haven't played them. Some old, well, kind of semi-modern Super Mario Brothers games, always enjoyable. And the music round was as such. Let me move myself. So 2 More Years by Block Party, 7 Days by Craig David. I was surprised to see some teams not get this one because at the beginning of the song, he does say who he is and the name of the song multiple times, which I think is very funny. Robbie Williams' Millennium, not a song I particularly like. Summer of 69, kind of short. Summer of 69 by Bryan Adams, 21 Seconds by So Solid Crew, Time Is Running Out by Muse, and 4 Minute Warning by Radiohead. I think all teams got Radiohead. Most teams probably guessed a 4 minute more warning, I would guess. I would probably wager. But anyway, well done to most teams getting that right. So congratulations. Now on to the results. I think there were 7 teams. We'll find out in a moment. Let me go up there. You'll have to imagine that results is written behind me, but it's probably not difficult for you to remember the fact that it said results up there. So we did have 7 teams. I think there were a few teams that didn't get the anagram, which obviously does make a big difference. So Quarantimo, 38 points, 42.5 for Quizzy Rascals. Deadwood with 43.5. My Solo Quiz Hell. That seems like maybe a splinter movement from my 20-year Quiz Hell. I'm sure there's an interesting story behind that, which I'd like to hear. In third place, we have CanCon. I'm not quite sure what that refers to. I'd like to know that one as well. CanCon there with 53.5, 54.5 for our ex-champions, my 20-year Quiz Hell. I'm not adding on the 2 Quiz Hells because that would be very unfair. And the winning team, therefore, is K&C, who were frankly brutal in the second half of the quiz, getting full marks on quite a few rounds, actually. Absolutely brutal. Good foreign language knowledge, I think, there really helped them out. But as you can see, quite a solid victory there. So well done to them. I think they're quite a small team this time, so that's a really good showing. Well done. And your prize is knowing that probably everyone else here thinks you cheated. And this week, I think people don't think my 20-year Quiz Hell cheated. But well done. I don't think you did. So congratulations. I saw your answers, so I really don't think you did. But congratulations. That is the end of the quiz. Thank you very much for taking part and watching along. The thing I will say again, as I usually do, is if you can donate, please do so. And there is the link there. And my false friend, one of my false friends, I should say, does help put on a very good quiz. Not just another quiz, which is done every Tuesday, also done for charity, and that is every Tuesday at 7:40. If you tweet them, you can join. I think you have to message them to get the sheet. It's probably a little bit more convoluted than this one. It's really good fun. Highly recommend it. They have about 50 teams, and I would really recommend doing that if you can. It's a good couple of hours. It's not done on a slideshow. You kind of have a spreadsheet that you fill out, but I would really recommend doing that if you do get a chance. And also, if you can donate, that would be also great. So thank you very much, all. I shall see you all in the future. Who knows when that will be. Hopefully we'll do another one at some point, probably in about 3-4 weeks. If you've got any ideas, any feedback, anything like that, that'd be great. Last time I did send an email out just asking for feedback and to correct some of my terrible errors. I may need, if there are any terrible errors that people tell me about, I will also send another email out this time. But thank you very much all for taking part, and take care. Bye bye.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die.